Yo, what is up, guys? It is Phantom here today with a very special guest and a very special video we're making. So, you want to introduce yourself?
Yo, thanks for having me, Phantom.
I'll leave Gary's channel in the links down below. As you guys know, he's one of my best friends here on YouTube. And today we're actually going to talk about how would we end a certain anime series. And this is going to be kind of a collab series. Would you call it a series?
Yeah, it's a series. I mean, there's billions of animes out there, dude.
So we're basically
And I
going to
know
be
you're an avid fan of anime, so
yeah.
this is just the one thing.
Yeah, this is just starting it off. This is one of
Yeah.
the first series we're going to be doing. I'm going to try to get in contact with the Frozen Particle next time to do one on Dragon Ball. But otherwise, let's get on to the topic at hand, which is of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. Now, we're thinking with this one because it is the original series, and it's the one that my friend Gary is very well versed on. So, Gary, you mind giving us a rundown on the ending of the series?
All right. So originally, it starts off with this kid named Yu-Gi-Oh, right? He gets bullied. He's very low confidence, but his father, like I don't know, like 40 years ago, many years ago, right, went to Egypt and found the Millennium Box or found the Millennium Puzzle, and Yugi's the only vessel to solve the Millennium Puzzle. It took him 8 years to solve it, right? He solved the Millennium Puzzle, and then he sort of met Yami. Yami was very evil at first, and he did a lot of bad doings. So Yugi was low confident. But when Yami entered Yugi's life and Yugi enters Yami's life, they sort of helped each other out. For Yami, it was he shouldn't be that dangerous and sort of like controlled his pride in a sense. And for Yugi was that Yami gave him the confidence, the ability to duel, just to be a prodigy in a sense. And then the best way to end it off is let them duel, let the partners have a duel, and that's how they basically ended Yu-Gi-Oh off with Yugi taking up the mantle of a Timmer, sort of like a Tim was always the dominant guy. So Yugi came in and just defeated a Tim in a duel and sort of showed his confidence and his dominance that he doesn't need a Tim anymore. A Tim was just there to help Yugi sort of mold into him or become a better version of him in a sense. And
Become more
Yugi came
mature.
in and defeated him, and that's pretty much the ending of Yu-Gi-Oh.
And I want to know your exact thoughts on it before we get into how it will change things. So, what are your exact thoughts on it?
My thoughts on it was the end. The duel is brilliant. The idea of Yugi defeating a Tim is genius, right? But the way it was sort of portrayed, Kaz was. I don't know if Kaz was very sick writing the end of the manga, because Yu-Gi-Oh was running down, the ratings were going down in sales. So Shonen was like, "Yo, hurry up, write this down, finish the ending," and he was very sick. So he had a limited amount of time, and he was on painkillers, and he had like a low blood and stuff like that. So it was all over the place when he was finishing the manga.
They
But
did what they did to Taikubo to him.
yeah, so pretty much he had a limited amount of time, and he wasn't himself, bro. He was in the hospital, and he was like drugged in a sense. So he had to finish Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's sort of like half-assed in a sense, the Yu-Gi-Oh ending. But the way they ended it, I like the Japanese ending the most because it's with Yugi and his friends walking to school, and Yugi's like, "My journey has just begun." Instead of Yugi just leaving the Shrine of the Millennium Stone, in the manga, he's like, "My journey has just begun" as well. I
Mm.
kind of like that. He's sort of walking to school with his friends. He's still sad that his best friend left, but he's sort of moving on with his own journey. Like we get to see him go back home and
Yeah.
sort of deal with it, let it marinate in, and then we see him move on. But I just don't like that. I don't like that we get to see Yugi's story, Yami's story end, and then Yugi's story unfold. There's still so many other characters. Like we never got to see Taya fulfill her dreams. We never got to see Joey's ending. We never got to see Trishan's ending. That's why Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds has probably one of the best, probably the best ending when it comes to character plots, etc. So I just didn't like that. But what are your takes on it?
My thoughts on the Yu-Gi-Oh ending, and it's been a while on the ending side because I haven't watched it since I believe 2013, 14. I feel like the ending, and especially how you described it, I feel like they could have done more, but what they had, I feel kind of contempt with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like even though we got tons of spin-off series, I feel like I they should have kind of given us one last season just to see where everybody went.
Yeah, I
At
mean
least one more
DSOD sort
season.
of gives it that, but we're not gonna get into that. But
Yeah.
how would you end it? How would you switch it up? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
All right. So every Yu-Gi-Oh ending basically ends off in a mysterious way. Like it sort of gives us like the fans get to decide. The DSOD endings like that, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds is where was Yusei in those 8 years, and why wasn't he shown in the ending of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds? Because he's shown in the ending, but they go into the future 8 years and he's not there. They show everyone else there, like all of Team 5Ds. For GX, it's who won the duel between Yugi and Yami. My bad, who won the duel between Yugi and Jaden. So for this, I was thinking like Yugi won the duel because of Gold Sarcophagus. So I was thinking like, what if they ended it there? Like we don't get to see the card. The card in Gold Sarcophagus
Yeah.
was Monster Reborn. So sort of giving us that factor on what could have happened. It could have been great theory videos for us, but like it sort of loses the suspense factor. But that's kind of a shit ending in a way. I would have kind of liked it where we sort of get every character going their own way, or getting their own getting every character gets their own true ending. Like Kaiba gets his own ending, Mokuba, Trish and Taya, so on and so forth. But what about you?
Wait, Gary, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Okay, so how would I end it? I feel like I would end it in kind of a similar way to what you did, but I'd have one episode kind of like what 5Ds did, where like it's just basically telling us where everyone is, but something, I wouldn't say like death or anything happened to Yugi, but something happened to Yugi to where he went missing, to where he's like, I want to get better on my own, not with the help of my friends anymore, and he just disappeared. Like he just said, I'm going to go off somewhere. I'm going to go off somewhere. I'm going to learn how to do it. Then like immediately it would make sense why in GX he shows up and he's like a little more muscular and all that stuff, and it would make sense because it's like, oh well, maybe he went off like, I don't know, the 24-hour fitness to work out or something.
24.
Or something like that, like, or he just basically he trained, he learned the ins and out of dueling, and like he becomes like an unstoppable machine. But we know why he did it, and like I feel like that's how I would end it.
Or I think a brilliant idea. You know how Yu-Gi-Oh! GX starts off with Yugi giving Jaden the card?
Yeah,
What if that was the ending of Yu-Gi-Oh?
that would be amazing.
I'm gonna edit that shit. That's so dope. That's the best way to end off Yu-Gi-Oh.
And it's like I feel like you know, just end it off like as mysterious as you can.
Yeah, it's not like ambiguous.
And it's like I feel like it has a lot. Has again, it's one of these shonen artists that basically got fucking screwed over by Shonen Jump. Cause I'm probably gonna get into this when I find a Bleach YouTuber, but basically he had a deadline and he was sick, and that's even worse because he was not able to be able to say, yo, I can't do this at the moment. So it's like, yeah, I just feel like if Kaz had more time and he was a lot well.
Yeah, at least he wrapped it better up than the Bleach guy.
Yeah. And I felt like at least with this ending, a lot of doors were closed.
Yeah, a lot of doors were closed, but he had a lot of ideas, and a lot of the ideas probably were implemented inside like Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side Dimensions. Like he wanted to do a subplot with Kasar and Seto. He wanted to do something with Yugi and Taya. Like they probably might have hooked together.
And it's like basically, you know, as we get more into this and all that, is that most things that Yu-Gi-Oh has done is probably why, because we gotta remember it changed. Like it changed from from a game where it was penalty to a card game. Yeah. So it's like that's just another thing.
Just because it sailed.
Yeah.
So is that all? Is that all?
Yeah. I think we pretty much got the point.
We stated
we all stated our piece. So yeah, in the comment down below, guys, please write down how you would end it. Next episode will be Dragon Ball, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Come on, Scott.